Yeah, so the Ninth Khalkha Jetsun Dampa Legacy Initiative is a project Kandrala and I are working on. It started, I guess, last May, sort of the infancy of it, because I had an idea that I really wanted to explore more about the Jetsun Dampa. Originally, I was looking at maybe doing more biographical type research. And I asked Kandra if it'd be a good idea, and she said it would. And I had a pilgrimage kind of research trip or something else going to Mongolia and then India. So I thought it was good to do. But essentially, I wanted to learn more about the Ninth Kalka Jetsun Dampa because he's not as well known as a lot of other teachers, even though he had a lot of importance, especially for his Cho lineages we practice. But I really wanted to explore like the kind of heartfelt stories he provide or that are memories of him. And it kind of started to develop a bit more that there's been some like in Tibetan and Mongolian, there's been some extensive writings about biography, like where he was born, life journey, things like that. But there hasn't been much outside of really what Chandra La is doing and maybe kind of what Osir Rinpoche is doing to preserve these Cho lineages, which Khalkha Rinpoche had held very dear to his heart and had really was kind of like the last lineage holder alive at the time. So this project is not just purely to remember the Ninth Jetsun Dampa, but also to help carry on his lineage, which is pretty unknown. Like, I mean, I've heard a bunch of times that people will say that there's no Cho in the Geluk tradition. That's pretty common. I've heard even scholars say that. It's inaccurate, but it's a common stereotype, I guess. So this also seeks to maybe do some more extent, hope to sponsor more extensive translating of sadhanas and things like that, and research on the Kalkajasundampa's lineages, and not just the practice lineages he held, but also the practice advice he gave, such as, how we all did our Damaru workshop, I think 2021, things like that, wisdom like that passed to people like Kandra, but it's not written down anywhere. It's not preserved in any other way, really. That leaves a non-accessible way for Westerners. And really, a big part is also talking with a lot of these masters, remaining masters of the ear-whispered lineage, which they're new masters coming up, I guess, but a lot of the really old last generation of masters trained in Tibet before 1959 are kind of disappearing. So there's a lot to do. There's kind of a time crunch, I guess, on some of them. Some teachers are like 94 now. But yeah, really exploring these Ganden ear-whispered and especially the Dakini ear-whispered lineage because there is some books on the Ganden ear-whispered Cho lineage, but it's through other teachers like Zong Rinpoche, and there's not anything else on the Dakini whispered lineage. If it wasn't for Conjula, I don't think there's really anything in English that's extensive where we could find information. So we're trying to change that and also add help grow this. And also part of this project, we're hoping to really maybe educate our small but growing community, Dakin's Whisper, about the lineage of the Geluk tradition and the lineage that has carried these Ganden and Dakini ear-whispered lineages. I think plenty of people on here are probably very knowledgeable, but some people that are maybe coming in that are newer may not know much about the more yogic side of the Gelug tradition. Because if you read on Wikipedia or books or anything, they almost always say the Gelug tradition is the scholastic tradition, which is partially true. They do probably have the most extensive academic type tradition out of all of the lineages of Tibetan Buddhism, but they also have this yogic tradition. It just wasn't preserved in monasteries. It was, these great masters left the monasteries to practice things like Cho and, Vajrayogini. It wasn't institutionalized. It was kind of free. And Tsongkhapa is also kind of painted as this scholarly, dialectical type, which he was, but he was also a very realized yogi and engaged in these yogic practices. So it'll kind of be educating this spiritual devotion among our own community as well. I think if they can just people could spread the word, or maybe if they want to contact me directly. Also, if some of you have any maybe connections to maybe Luke teachers or some connection you think might be helpful, yeah, just message me on like Discord or something.